welcome to our channel. My name is Umpo, aka SheTZA.
And my name is Bonnie, aka I am She of Barbary.
And welcome to Tea on
Books. So, in today's video, we're going to be reviewing a very special book by Malebo Sephodi, and it is Misbehave.
I think every girl, every woman, every person should own this book.
Definitely.
Yes, so the book is written by Malebo Sephodi. Malebo is an activist, a writer. She takes interest in writing regarding women, the social economic issues relating to human rights, basically just the freedom, the liberation, and the emancipation of women. She's an academic, she's a lecturer at Wits, and she's a well-traveled and very good speaker, a speaker of note. I actually would, but she said a very important book. It is a very important book.
So this book was published in 2017. It's basically a collection of her stories. Not necessarily life story, but stories in her life, if that makes sense. So she's not putting the book as a memoir or an autobiography. So she's just basically telling her experiences in life, in jail. You know, her life in the world, the corporate world, experiencing life through patriarchy, sexual violation, body image issues, if I may put it that way, and some of the issues that are just experienced by an everyday South African woman.
So my take on the book is that, you know, it's her journey, and she finds ways to include us, also just give us something to think about, you know, just enough.
That's
so
really nice.
It's very, very nice. The book has about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 chapters,
11-ish.
11-ish. Yes, 11-ish. So the first chapter is Misbehave. It introduces us to her love for bikes, where she was invited to a biker club, and she met this lady, a lady biker, a biker lady. But then, you know, the for me, the chapter, right? It's more about her doing everything that society has taught us not to do, going against everything that she, you know, a lady is not supposed to bike, a lady is not supposed to know anything about cars. Those are girls or boy stuff. Girls are supposed to play with Barbies and all those nice things. So that's basically my take. Basically that's Misbehave. It's a Misbehave, by the way, with a single S as compared to the title of the book.
But it also is like you know, actually I'm thinking of the next chapter that she follows is called Love Regulated. It's like, as much as it's she's coming into that being of saying I am misbehaving, quoted. No, the society, she's not misbehaving. The society is saying she is misbehaving because she likes bikes. But then on Love Regulated, she actually talks about how her grandfather used, like, she didn't see like gender roles when she used to visit their grannies during like holidays and whatever, and then she would go with her cousin, and then the grandfather would actually make them go with him to audition home and stuff, and then on the other side they would also make tea for him and whatever like that. So it's like there wasn't really, she talks like she highlights how there was never those gender roles forced to her to say, Malebo, you are a girl, you must go and make tea. Whoever you are a boy, you must go and head kettles and whatever. So it kind of like, it makes you wonder, like, on the Misbehave chapter, she's talking about her becoming or enjoying the spot that is reserved for men, but then at the same time how she grew up.
But then
she never experienced those gender roles in a way through her grandfather, because literally he taught them the both worlds, that basically, like, normally a man would go and I would say but he introduced them to that to that very
yes
age.
and for me the on that chapter is the fact that the grandfather was able to, regardless of the time, the age, he was open-minded enough to say this is how life is and should be. Coming into the third chapter as well of the book, that it's the chapter is hashtag Dear Black Man. For me, that's very, 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 very personal, because that's, you know, you're looking at the grandfather, right?
Yeah.
And you realize, well, the grandfather was not blaming everybody, was not blaming anybody for or was not putting what he was taught supposedly onto her grandchildren, you know what I mean? And on this chapter, that's where Malebo basically she's taken through this manipulation or blame in a way by men. While she was trying to help women, men will come and say, but what about us? You know what I mean? Now she created this hashtag, this movement where she felt like she was like, I need to help a boy child to be better. You know what I mean? Maybe the reason why they abuse women, they grew up without no fathers. But at the same time, later then she realized, it's not our job to teach this man how to be men. It's our job as women to teach ourselves as women how to be women, because we know women best. You know, it's a very because most of the time, most of the time, men have that thing of wanting to dictate to women how a woman should be. You know what I mean? They will tell you like, but what about me?
But you know what I also hate is that,
and they will blackmail you.
They would say, what about me? Why are you saying what about you? Why are you not doing it yourself? Because literally how she's actually like ended up doing the hashtag black men, it started off as where she shared her experience of being sexually violated I think it was in church, and then like people were coming over, you know how churches are, they're coming over, and then everybody was telling their own experiences, and through that she started Soul Over, where people were just coming in, women are coming in, sharing their stories, literally just coming to cry, and then she offered everybody tissues just to comfort them, and then through that it became big. That's when then the men felt like, but
what about
hello, it is us here. But also it's just like, why are men not creating their own initiatives? So the next chapter talks about help yourself to some sexism. So basically this chapter is talking about how women are conditioned, or they have issues where they need fixing, basically. So this talks about the self-help books that majority of men write. Is like it literally basically telling you as a woman, this is what is wrong with you, this is how you should fix yourself so that you can be desirable, you can be this, you can be that. So she finds herself consuming a lot of those things, because also it's when you're on your journey and you're trying to know yourself, so you end up literally grabbing every little thing and see which one works for you. So it's just like, you know, your body, she references like act like a woman, think like a lady, and whatever nonsense that is. It's like he's just not that into you. So it's just really books bashing women, or writing about what is wrong, everything that is wrong about a woman, basically.
And it's also, how can somebody who is not me write about me? Most of these books that she reference are written by males.
True.
It's just how men love being in women's business, like they just like being in their head.
But it's just that because we tend to be very insecure in our being, then you end up buying those things because you feel like they relate to you, or you can learn something about yourself or fix yourself. But
and also society has even a young woman, they are groomed. We are groomed to think that there's something wrong, there's something that needs to be fixed, and stuff like that. So but like it's also very interesting how she talks about what we need to read. We need to read African black women that have the same stories as us. You know,
make it more relatable.
Make it more relatable as well. But yeah, the next chapter after that is now you may now kiss your husband.
Repeat that, please.
Pause moment.
Let us think.
You may now kiss your husband. It's very interesting chapter because it talks about how two stories within the same chapter is how she went to a wedding in Germany, right? She was in Germany and she went to a wedding. While she was there, the pastor at the end of the wedding said, "You may now kiss your husband." And it's one thing that she feels like it went just like over the head. Most people did not get that the role,
the gender roles.
The gender roles.
In a way,
Also, the issue of Barbie and Ken. But when we were growing up, we were taught that girls play with Barbie, but Barbie always has a Ken.
Yep.
So we are always raised to believe that a woman always has a man or needs a man to be. Yeah. And for me, it's also one of the most important part of this is that culture and tradition dictate. But going back to the story of you may now kiss your husband, right? With that, it's a culture, it's a tradition to say you may kiss your wife. Your bride. But then that means these things are not cemented, are not you know, they can always be changed. But culture, she talks about her uncles and how family would say, "When are you getting married?
Oh, I hate that.
When are you getting married? When are you having your kids?" And she alludes to the fact that you might be sitting here with a cure for HIV, bro. But nobody will say, "My girl did that." They will only, acknowledge your presence when you are with a man.
Your woman presence. But also, it's like, I liked how, I didn't like it. It's just funny how the uncle keeps saying, "Yo, hi, Malebo, when are you getting the wallet?" But I'm like, why did you buy the suit in the first place? Who said I even want to get married? Because also, she wrote a quote where she's saying, she didn't know, like, not getting married was a choice. Like, she didn't know that, because it was always saying, like, you must get married. I will see. It's sticky. So it's just a lot.
It's a lot. But also, marriage should be an option. Marriage and having kids should be something that is given out there. You choose whether to do or not. But hey, also, one thing I learned about this is tradition and culture can be changed. They are not set on stones.
Yep. Nah. And while on that, we need to dismantle patriarchy because it just feeds off those things. But other than that, it's just frustrating. The society is frustrating. I don't really know why, but yeah. So actually, it's talking about how toxic society can be. The next chapter talks about images. It's called "In Whose Image Exactly." So she literally talks about how, like, self-confidence. You know how, like this, what do you call it? These standards, beauty standards that, we are portraying, and as a young woman, you end up having self-esteem issues because you're trying to match up to this
set standard by somebody,
Yes, and those things, like, also it's confusing. It's like, do you want a skinny person? Do you want a fat person? Do you want boobs? Do you want, like, a person end up not knowing what to have. They have issues of their own. You end up running to having the diets, the ridiculous diets. You end up going to surgeries. You end up, it's like, sometimes it's, these things, sadly, you don't think about the consequences of those things because you end up having eating disorders because you are so fascinated with
and most of the time it's
losing weight.
Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not because for when you are doing it so that you can please some man somewhere.
Yes, it's morally probably or hear someone, and I don't know why we normalize this thing about Bonnie or these days. But we're like, why do you feel it's normal or it's right for you to say that to somebody? Oh yes, it's like somebody is complaining that I am fat, and then someone also, like the same person, is also saying something. It's like,
choose one.
Stick to it. But also, like, why do you feel like you have a say in how people look like? or what they wear. So basically, that this chapter is talking more on, also body shaming people. That's like another. Like now in 2021, we still have people who are body shaming people. So we need to change the mindset.
We need to change our minds. In fact, it just fits into the next chapter. It's sex, right?
Yeah.
Or talking about the body. Now she talks about a story where she went to, what did she go?
Zambia.
Yeah. She had a friend there. She was doing some activism work there, and she met this lady. They became friends. So the lady she's married, the lady. She invites her to some dinner. And she's like, no, I invited my friends. I want you to meet my squad.
Friends from church.
The squad comes, right? The squad. Meet squad to Mama Wood. And Mama Wood is talking about how, so the topic they talk, right? It's married women.
It's women, so you know.
Women, so conversation goes on, and they get to a part where they talk about how a woman should please a man. And about this tradition that we have in some other countries, in some African cultures, where they will extend your vulva. They will extend just so that they can please a man. And it's so sad because when she's sitting there, this girl is sitting there and listening to this woman, but in her head she's like, but where is my pleasing in there? Like, yes, I hear you guys, I'm married to this person, we're supposed to be pleasing each other, but where is me in this whole situation? And for me, in that is also she's talking about how we don't know our body, we don't know how to pleasure yourself. We don't know how to pleasure ourselves. We never looked look at ourselves and say, this girl, you are pretty, you are beautiful, and talk about the vagina. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Talk about the vagina
and
how it's an exactly conversation. We give it such nice, beautiful words. In fact, you go to the store, they will tell you, hi, this soap is just for the vagina so that it smells good. And when last did you look at it and say, girl,
do you even know your own vagina? But then also it goes back to this mentality that sex is for a man's pleasure or it's a man's enjoyment. It's sort of like frowned on. It's never about a woman's enjoyment.
No.
But it's like, I have a whole fucking vagina walking around with it, and you don't even see it as your own.
Yeah. Yes.
It exists there for this person.
Yeah. And you also being looked at as if you are dirty.
Yes.
There's this thing about your job is to please me, but when you're on your periods, you are you're literally
it's ridiculous, really.
As soon as you get out of your periods, the man takes you. But when you're on your periods, you are just
you are chilla fate.
But what's a Basati? What did we ever do to deserve this? What did we ever do?
Kind of crazy.
It's sad because you are born with a set life already. Somebody once the day you born, they already know this one.
They're already grooming you, and especially when you're talking about how they enlighten the thing. It's like you do that from a very young age. So already in your mind, you are doing something that is going to please a man at a very young age. That is damaging on its own because you grow up with that thing in mind. Vagina,
my existence, the existence of this part of me, it's for a man.
Sure, I get. So in this next chapter, it's called Beyond the Quotas.
Yeah.
So basically, it's more on her touching the experiences in the corporate world. So she was working at a company, went on. She was like the only black lady there. No, there was like two with including her assistant.
Yeah.
So it's talking about how most of the time, especially it happens a lot in South Africa, where the white dominated company, and then they have one or two black women just so they can comply with the
labor requirements or
employment equity and whatever nonsense like that.
Yeah.
And it really is just sad because they don't see you as anything.
Yeah.
You are just there because they have to hire you because of complying.
They don't really hire you for your ability.
For anything,
most times.
really. Most of the time, yes. And it's just crazy. But then also it's like, who's this? One of my colleagues is sort of like they had an incident where she answered the PA's phone, and then she was just like, the boyfriend of the PA called, and then that lady, the colleague, the white girl was just,
I think her name
she
was
rude.
Jessica.
Yes, and then she was just like, oh, this guy, she's just like a doof and whatever. And then the way he talks is like, she was judging the boyfriend based on his voice. It's like, you sound silly, or you sound so, or whatever. But it's like, so Malebo, that's why she's like, make it make sense. How are you judging somebody and they are being based on just hearing their voice on the phone?
And also, on that, I think there's a quote the mother usually said. What is the quote?
She said, she actually it took her back to her mom saying, don't be naive to the inequalities that we still face in the everyday life when it comes to white people. You know, the racism, and it's very subtle, and you know, you won't realize it until something hectic happens, and then you're like,
But also we all I don't know if it's a black thing. I'm so sorry to say that, but I don't know if it's a black thing, but we have this beautiful hope.
We are very hopeful.
We are very hopeful, like,
and it lands us in crap.
It lands us in trouble because we are not very vigilant to what's happening around us. We have these rose glasses. We think everything is hunky dory and life is
Rainbow
good.
Nation.
Rainbow Nation. But the truth of the matter is, it don't exist. But
anyway,
there's a lot of inequalities. And like you said, it's subtle. They're not loud about it. It's just one of those things. But anyway, so there's the next chapter. It's the elusive woman. I'm laughing because I love the fact that she put it last. I love the fact that she put it last because it's an elusive dream.
Yeah.
Having this woman who is
chasing
everything.
Have it all.
Like, you are a mother, you are a wife, you are a corporate woman, you've got your life together, you're not going to go to gym, you take the kids to the place.
I don't even think Superwoman does all of those things. It's just ridiculous.
No. But you know also how the democracy has, and also liberation, freedom as women has given us this idea of this thought that we need to do everything as women in order for you to be considered as successful or liberated or woke enough. No, you can choose to do one.
Yes.
I think the concept here is put everything on this table so that I can choose for myself. But honestly, doing everything by yourself, don't work.
But sometimes it's like we are trying to make up for something. I don't know what is it. We're trying to make it like we're doing every little thing, trying to be superheroes, being a mother, doing and stuff. It's just a lot. At the end of the day, you're going to get bent out.
And you are proving what to who?
Exactly.
You are proving what to who?
Exactly. I feel like we should just like take advantage of the fact that we have choices. I have a choice to be a stay-at-home mom or whatever, and I have the choice to also be a career woman. Yes, you can. Oh, trust me, you can do all of them. But you know,
but
you don't want to find yourself in a space where you are just losing yourself.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But also, men have this thing about I never you wanted it.
Yeah,
you got it, and society says, as a woman, you are born to be a homemaker.
Yeah.
A wife to your husband, a mother to your children. If you are going to be a pilot, it's fine, be a pilot.
You don't care.
But when your job able, so you try to
juggle.
Yes. And balance everything else, or not because proving to yourself or whoever, but also because of what society has
suggested
us.
You always try to prove yourself. Yes, I can do it. Yes, I can be a career woman, and yes, I can do quoted a man's job. Because already society has judged you for like you're not even supposed to be there. Why are you doing
this? Woman Bella needs to take care of herself, right?
Yes.
So Malebo suggested self-care tips. Things that you can do to put yourself as a priority, put yourself up there, and for me, what I got from the whole chapter was the issue of going to art places. I think that's how she put it.
Exactly.
It's liberating. I feel like art, everybody has a right brain. You know what I mean? We are all artistic and creative in some way. We just find ways to.
I don't know about that. No.
But okay, fine. For me, that's it. That's like releasing that pressure in whatever, whether it's singing, writing, or painting nonsense. Yeah. And you?
For me, it's the finance part. It's something that I want to adopt really in how I deal with money, my relationship with money. So I don't want to be in debt. I don't want to find myself in debt.
No.
I also don't want to deprive myself of enjoying my chankura. You understand? So, working out the balance of saving and also enjoying your money, because at the end of the day,
life is short. You might die with all those savings in the account.
Yeah, that's what.
But I think so far we're doing good. We're doing good with the self-care, right?
Yeah.
You're not broke. You're not broken. You're not broken.
No, we are. Oh. So so the other half chapter, if I may put it,
the 11-ish part.
Yes. So she's talking about feminism. She talks about how growing up, she grew up with the word feminism as this horrible thing that is associated with angry women, women who hate men, and everything that has to do with a man in jail. They're just angry. So I think she was. It only clicked to her, or she started viewing it as something else when she was at an event and then she met this lady who said to her, "You're such a feminist." And she was just like, me a feminist, no, like, oh, plica. So she literally the lady had to explain for do you care about women's issues? And then she said yes. And then she went on and said, do you care about men's issues? And then she also said yes. So the lady was like, then you are a feminist. So it's literally just about that, having the equality, rectifying the inequalities that we're facing, women face as
a collective.
Yes, and also just inequalities in whatever gender.
Yes. So it's not about women.
No, and I hate how feminists always catching fire on the socials. I'm like, people didn't even say anything. Why are you dragging feminism in this?
So the book, right? I think on that chapter, a few references. One of the books that we read, I think it's on our
nervous system. Yeah, she refers to nervous system.
So and the is that the one with Dambu, right? Yes. Yeah. So also it's it runs this thing of patriarchy, right? Patriarchy has infiltrated culture, African culture and tradition. So sometimes you wonder, where does culture end and where does patriarchy stop?
They feed off each other.
I get that.
So in a way, I feel like one cannot exist without the other.
But they need to exist separately. We need we need to have something that's ours, and then we can say they infiltrated ours. But so that's the book. And what do you think about the book so far?
This is a favorite. I really enjoyed this book.
I really did.
I enjoyed it, and I feel like it's really something that.
Which part did you enjoy the most?
Let's just read. I just enjoyed how she put out different. She referenced a lot of books in this book. Also, and she's really making clear references. Yes, I'm putting this thing to you, but you can also go and
do your own little
research. It's like it makes you, or it made me want to actually go out there and search more books that are written by Black females. People who are telling stories that are relating to me.
What I liked about the book, honestly, it makes you think. It's a very light read, but it's a very deep read.
Yes. The topics are hectic.
The topics are very, very hectic. I love the fact that she did not stress me, in a sense that the topics are deep, but it's not like, this woman is turning my life upside down. The things that I know now, I'm starting to question. Not question in a bad way, but you were like, okay, but then how we do things. Oh, okay. So I like that about this book. What I did not really like about the book, there is nothing I did not like about the book, honestly. However, I personally feel like she was like, I don't know much about her. Yes, she wrote from a personal perspective and experience, but Malebo, give us a timeline of when did you experience these things? Like, you know what I mean? Give us like at age, not in my 20s, but rather say in my early 20s, in my mid 20s, my late, you know what I mean? Then we can estimate for this person, because we go through these things and we're like, but may I experience this late, and she, you know what I mean? So you can just like, as you said, relate basically. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what I didn't like about this book, except for that, because I was really frustrated. I'm like, I would have really loved to understand Malebo after reading this book.
Yeah. Her mindset right now. Look, this book.
And also, it's an old book.
It's an old book, I understand, but the mindset at that time, we get to experience. We are told on how she saw things. Yeah, but then we are not told as to, I don't know how to put it, but her mind, like after experiencing all these things, like where she was at that point. You know what I mean?
Just like an extra
chapter
of where she was at that point when she was writing
about everything else about or maybe after writing the book about every topic, what she thinks about these things. So thank you so much for watching our channel. Please don't forget to subscribe,
like,
comment,
and share.
And thank you again. See you on the next installment.
Bye.